Human interference in the phosphorus cycle occurs by overuse or careless use of phosphorus fertilizers. This results in increased amounts of phosphorus as pollutants in the body of water, resulting in eutrophication. Eutrophication devastates water ecosystems.
Eutrophication is the ecosystem's response to the addition of artificial and natural substances such as nitrates and phosphates through fertilizers or sewage to an aquatic system. The Baltic Sea contains 800% more phosphorus than it did 100 years ago. They are deposited to the sea in several different ways.
In 2000, about 28,000 tons of phosphorus entered the Baltic Sea through rivers. The Baltic Sea now contains 8 times as much phosphorus as it did in 1900. The main effects of eutrophication are increase in plants and animal biomass, increase in growth of rooted plants, increase of cloudiness of water, development of low oxygen levels, increase of species diversity.
The biggest effect on humans directly would be essentially clogging waterways. In extreme cases, eutrophic lakes and waterways have developed into bogs and marshes. Even though this process is natural, humans are increasing the development. The causes of eutrophication are natural runoff of nutrients from the soil and weathering of rocks, runoff of inorganic fertilizer, runoff of manure in farms, runoff from erosion, and discharge from untreated sewage.
The excess amount of nitrogen and phosphorus in lakes causes algal blooms. Algae comes with common toxins and high enough quantities. Shut down human hearts and stop the breathing, causing short-term memory or sends them into convolutions. Blooms can also create dead zones. When the massive amount of algae die, bacteria starts to decompose in organic material, and in the process they suck all the oxygen out of the water. This leaves little oxygen behind for the fish and organisms to breathe.
Man is exposed principally to the naturally occurring toxins produced by harmful algae through the consumption of contaminated seafood products. The most significant public health problems caused by harmful algae are amnesic shellfish poisoning, ciguatera fish poisoning, diarrheic shellfish poisoning, neurotoxic shellfish poisoning, and paralytic shellfish poisoning.
Eutrophication will impact global carbon cycles, but will probably do little to offset anthropogenic carbon emissions. Anthropogenic meaning caused or produced by humans. Total excess input from 1,600 to 3,600 AD is 1,860 teragrams of phosphorus. Given that in that marine environment between 106 to 170 units of carbon buried per unit of phosphorus, one can predict that excess phosphorus would effectively bury 76,000 to 123,000 teragrams of carbon.
In essence, this burial removes carbon from the atmosphere through the biological fixation of carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. This present annual rate of anthropogenic carbon addition to the atmosphere is 7,900 teragrams of carbon. So the phosphorus eutrophication effect would only account for about 10 to 15 years of anthropogenic carbon emissions to the atmosphere over the next 2,000 years. Only 0.6% of total projected carbon emissions if emissions stay constant.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Eutrophication destroys aquatic ecosystems and indirectly and directly affects us as humans. Some organisms even can go extinct because they all have died off, and it can also change the food chains